So we got a couple folks here from Portland. Rochelle is calling in from Texas. So I'm excited. And Gloria, would you like to introduce yourself first and say hey to everybody?
Yeah, totally. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So I am Gloria Coleman. I prefer Glitter Gloria. I am the founder of Exit Bliss. We are COBID everything certified. I've been working with Mazarine for like the last 8 years, and we continue to facilitate together.
Yeah, and this is a joint presentation between our two businesses, Exit Bliss and Mazarine Treyz. So really, really glad to have Gloria here this time. So I want to tell everybody you're so smart for coming here today. Government contracting can make your business grow, and government agencies are eager to meet their internal goals by giving more contracts to certified small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned, and veteran or service-disabled veteran businesses. So the keyword here is certified, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So even if you're not in Oregon, you can still take advantage of this with your own certifications in your state, as well as federal certifications. So if anyone's listening to this later and you're not in Oregon, but you want to do business in Oregon too, COBID certification is a good thing to have. I am also COBID certified. So do you know what COBID stands for? Type in the chat. Yes, no, maybe. Feel free. If not, I've got some funny guesses on the next screens for you. You'll see. All right, what we got here? We got some guesses. No, Michael said no. Gloria said yes. All right. Gloria, don't tell everybody yet. Wrong answers only. Okay. So if you're wondering if this is for you, it's for you if you're wondering if you want to get a certification like a woman-owned business, minority-owned business, veteran-owned business, or small business. And if you stick around today, you're going to learn about what is COBID, how it can help you get contracts, and how it relates to federal certifications. So this is a bit about me. And Gloria, if you're going to come up on these more, I'm definitely going to have a slide about you. Sorry, I didn't have one for you today. It's okay. All right. Well, I've done a bunch of things. I've created like 15 online conferences, 10 courses, 3 books, 2 podcasts, and a partridge in a pear tree. I've also, been certified as a DEI practitioner with Whiteness at Work and Racing to Equity, and I've also got speaker training from Communispond. So I've been contracting since I lived in Texas in 2012. And then when I moved back to Oregon, I started getting more contracts in 2013 and 14. And then I've had the same contract with Metro since 2018, which is where I met Gloria, which is so great. And I love working with her. And so these are some other folks that I've worked with. So I'm not just telling you like, oh, get government contracts. It's a good idea. Like I've never done it. I've absolutely done it. We are continuing to do it. We love getting government contracts, and we're always learning new things. So there's always more to learn about this. These are some other folks I've worked with as well. State of Washington, Department of Enterprise Services, State of Oregon, Division of Financial Regulation, as well as a subcontractor with Gloria. I've worked with Multnomah County and with their CDEF program certification. It's what does it stand for again, Gloria? It's
Construction Diversity Equity Fund. Would you like me to put the link in the chat?
Yes, would you please? That would be so great. Yeah, thank you. The Construction Diversity Equity Fund is really awesome because it's free help with your website. It's free help with your project management, with back office stuff, with finance, education, as well as marketing your business to government. And it's all, if you get COBID certified, you can get this help. So this is another reason I'm telling you COBID certification is so great.
And this technical assistance program is for construction and construction adjacent industries. So you could be a photographer, a marketer, those type of construction adjacent, but for those, just not for like a food cart business.
No. That's right. That's right. But it's really good. And even if you're not one of those kinds of businesses, you can still get your COBID certification, and you can get help from other programs like the Apex Accelerator as well. So does COBID stand for certainly orange baby idiot dick? Nope. Cantankerous old boy ivermectin dunce? Not that one either. It stands for Certification Office for Business Inclusion and Diversity. So it's good. It's good if you want to do business in Oregon. It's also good for Oregon businesses. And agencies have internal goals to do business with people who are COBID certified, but can also prepare you for your federal certifications for woman-owned business, hub-zone business, or disadvantaged business enterprise. So Gloria has her DBE, disadvantaged business enterprise. And if you're wondering if you're qualified for that, well, if you make under $5 million a year, poor you, you're so disadvantaged, and you can get the disadvantaged business certification as well. So, so construction companies also have internal goals. So if you're thinking like, maybe I could work with a construction company, if you do hauling or painting or drywall or janitorial or cleaning services or HVAC, construction wants that too. They want you to be COBID certified. You can definitely jump into the subcontracting pool. P.S. They also love DBE certification, which is a federal one. So how do you start to get certified? Well, if you're afraid of the paperwork, you're not alone. And you can ask your local Apex Accelerator to help you. Oh, hey, Vel, thanks for being here. Love to see you here. And then if you've already connected with your local Apex Accelerator, then here's some next steps. Hey, Vel, thanks for being here. Hi. Hey. So you want to create a login at oregon4biz.diversitysoftware.com. You want to be prepared to put in your EIN number, your address, etc. Basically, this is the dashboard that Gloria has created for Exit Bliss. Gloria, you want to say a little bit more about this?
Yes. One thing about these certifications, there are at least 50 different pieces of documents that you will need to find wherever you got them, in your drawer, online. You're going to have these documents handy for any of these certifications you decide to apply for. Now, we created internally our dashboard because some of this, right, when you get ready to renew and you're getting help from your admin staff or somebody else, when you delegate, you're able to have all the information you need at your fingertips. It's better, right, to measure 18 times and cut once. This is getting everything that you need ready. So when you sit in front of the COVID screen to apply, or you're meeting with your Apex counselor, you are ready to really walk through it because you have everything. And so this is what our dashboard, it has all of our information that we need handy in a way for us to easily find your tax records, right? You're going to need your birth certificate or your lease agreement, right, for wherever you're at. So that's what our dashboard is helping you get those 50-ish documents together in a format that they could easily be retrieved, because it's going to save you time because you're going to have to renew some of them every year and some of them every 3 years. But trust and believe, you want to be organized. Thank you, Naz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gloria. You do want to be organized. And these are some of the things you need to get together. So I do have a list on a later slide, but that's certainly not a comprehensive list. That's just the beginning of what you need to put together. And actually, that's the most daunting part of this whole thing, is how do I get all these documents together? It seems like a lot. And I would rather just watch, YouTube videos and, hang out and sing a song, so I get it. But that's why we're here. We're here to support you every step of the way. So you just keep coming to these live streams, check out what Exit Bliss has to offer, check out Apex Accelerators and the CDEF program too. There's so much support for you. So you first have to choose which certification you want to get. And so what I usually advise people to do in Oregon is check out the ESB, because emerging small business is something that everybody can do, and it's the easiest one to get first. DBE on this screen is the most I'd say it's the hardest one to get because it requires more of you. It requires a personal income statement, which is a little bit harder to fill out. And they also want you to kind of make a disadvantaged business narrative. And I have a couple clients right now that are a little bit confused about what they want there. And so I've just been supporting folks with this. And I know Gloria has too on what to do with these two different documents. Do you want to add anything, Gloria?
Well, here, I did mine. And so here's the thing with the DBE, some of these documents will have to be notarized. I don't know if it's one or two because it's not in front of me, but just know some of them have to be notarized. Some of them have to be signed. There's a few that I was able just to upload my electronic tax records, right? And then they were like, no, it has to be a signed one. You have to have an invoice right from when you're being paid compared to the payment going in your bank account. There's a lot of, I would say, just little things with the DBE. But once you do get it, it goes, what is it? It's like reciprocal by the state. So I think like for Washington, then you would, if you were to register, whatever, be DBE as well. It's not like you have to get DBE. I think for at least for Washington together, it just kind of is a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah, it's a federal certification, so it'll be good for the entire country. And also, if you've already gotten your COBID certification, then it will populate that application for you. So a lot of the answers will already be answered for you. You just have to verify that that's still the answer you want to give. Yeah. Thank you, Gloria. So you start after you log in with simple eligibility. And this is how you can tell if you're eligible or not for COBID. And it's so easy. It's like, are you a nonprofit? No. Are you 51% owned and operated by a minority woman or veteran? Yes, right? Is a minority owner recognized as belonging to one of the following groups? And then it lists a bunch of groups. You can click yes, no, or not applicable. If you're VBE, that's Veteran Business Enterprise. Did you serve in the military? And they'll ask you for your DD 214 if you did. And if you did, that's great. You click yes. If not, you click not applicable. Do you have the qualifying licenses? Some people need it, like architects. Some people don't, like me. So then I would click not applicable. Are you publicly owned? Probably not. And then are you owned by another company? You want to click no, and that's it. You're in. You're eligible. So this is the very, very beginning. There's making sure that you're not any of these other things. You're not a nonprofit. You're not owned by somebody else. And then you get to this screen. This is all of the different sections that you need to fill out. And don't go crazy here. It's really not hard. I'm going to go through these step by step with you, each one of these sections, and show you how easy they are to fill out. Also, the document section, as Gloria and I were saying, is probably the worst part. But again, there's stuff there that's pretty straightforward to get. So the nice thing is when you're done with each section, I'll put a little green check mark here instead of a red arrow, and you'll know that you're done. So your business profile. This question is, after the contact info, which is section 1, which I'm not going to even bother with because that's self-explanatory. The next one is, okay, how do you describe yourself? Here's how I'm describing my business. There's my EIN. Actually, I guess I put my BIN there, my business identification number, when I should have put like my, I shouldn't put my, anyway, they didn't care. But that's my website there. I shouldn't have put it there. Anyway, and then have I been certified by other programs? You can say yes or no here. And then have you ever been denied certification? Yes or no. And so easy like Sunday morning.
Mazarine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Your capabilities. I was getting ready to go back to the new one. The capabilities. So one thing that Mazarine does a lot of is creating the capability statements. There is, so even though, right, like you see the NAICS codes, the NAICS, you're going to have those codes on your capability statement, which is, again, right, one more document that you need to have. So Mazarine does a ton of those. Once you have that, right, you'll be able to easily find all of the codes that are applicable to you in your business. But there is a section in here that asks you to upload your capability statement or something about your services. Yeah. So go ahead. I just wanted to make sure folks were clear, right? Like if you had that, this part would be a lot easier too.
Yes. So if you don't know what your NAICS codes are, that's totally okay. We help you with that. You can also go to NAICS.com. That's NAICS.com. and type it in, and then just type in a keyword, but you can also type the keywords in right here where it says select code. You only have to put in one code, but if you want to put in more, you absolutely can, and there's a bunch of places you can. So basically this section is just simply one code. That's it, and you'll be done. The next part is ownership and control. This is tedious because there's things here like you have to put that you're disabled or not every single time, your percentage of responsibility for hiring and firing or marketing and sales or estimating every single time, your number of years with the firm, your gender, your ethnicity, and your name every single time here. That's just tedious, but again, you can just get it done. And sometimes you just need a buddy to sit there with you and do it, and that's what we love to do.
Yeah, Mazarine, one thing about this, so those NICS codes that we talked about, if you don't have as many in there as possible, when they start sending out notifications to say, hey, this RFP is coming out, right? Like when we get stuff for HR, it's because of that code. So if you don't have all of the right codes, you're not going to get notified to your email box. You do not want to be going into these systems every single week to see if there's something new, which is why you make sure you have all the codes necessary.
Agreed. You could just put one code in, but if you can put in more, I definitely would. You're so right, Gloria. That's a really good point.
Yeah, right. Because that's how we get notified. And then on your next screen, right, the ownership, the thing that, Mazarine is really talking about, right? These places want to know, are you are doing all of this, right? Yes, you are a small business, but this is like delegation, right? Because these roles that she's talking about, like who's doing estimating, who's doing marketing, who's doing hiring. Think about it. You HR, sometimes you legal, you find you accountant, like you back office operations, you IT. You are basically, this is to show you a reality check that you are 100% responsible as a solo owner, and especially if you don't have a team, to do all of these things. And it's more roles that are that are there, and that's something we actually support with, is right, that delegation, helping you create standard operating procedures so you can take some time off, right? But you don't want to be doing all these things year after year. You want to be able to put different folks' names in there as you grow your team, if that is something you desire to do.
Yeah, as you grow, you might say, hey, the marketing part, someone else is doing that. But basically what they're trying to do here is make sure that you're not just a minority-owned or woman-owned business and name only, you're actually controlling these parts of the business. Because let's say that you're a husband and wife team and you're like a 51%, 49% split with your partner, and you're the wife and you're 51%, and he's the husband and he's 49%, let's say. But he's doing all the estimating, the hiring and firing, and so on. They might say, you're not really the owner of the business. It's him. If he's doing all the work and he's doing these really critical business tasks. So that's something else they're trying to figure out here is, are you who you say you are? This next section is so easy. So if you don't have any licenses, you just click no. If you don't have any major customers yet, that's okay. Just click no again. If you do, feel free to type in the contract amount, the scope of work, the date, who it was, their phone number, their contact person, and were you a prime on this? Were you the one who was getting the money, or were you a sub? Was someone else getting the money after you did the work and then distributing it to you? So I just did this with an architect recently, and he's like, oh yeah, here's my name of my architectural license. Here's how long it lasts. That's it, Or here, I'm an electrician. Here's my electrician's license. So ESB. ESB is just emerging small business. There's just 2 questions in the section, and then it can be done. So easy. So, has your business been ESB certified previously? Most of us is going to say no to this. You can only stay on the ESB list for, I think, 9 years or 12 years or something like that. So I was ESB, but I'm not anymore because I was on it for too long. And then you want to list the total number of work hours for all permanent, temporary, and part-time people per year, right? That's including you. So you just have to say, okay, 40 hours a week, maybe 50 weeks a year. You just do that math. for yourself. If you have any temporary employees or part-time folks, add them in here. But otherwise, if it's just you, then it's just you. So you want to add that in. And finally, we get to the documents. Don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. There says 15 mandatory, 7 required. Required is actually kind of not required, and mandatory, there's some things here you can just say this does not apply to me. And that's pretty straightforward. So if you're not applying for the veteran business certification, then DD 214 does not apply to you. And you can just make a piece of paper that says this does not apply to me, attach it, and that one is done. Articles of incorporation and articles of organization. If you are registered as a business in Oregon, you can find these on the Business Oregon website, on the Secretary of State's website, and they have a link right there to get them. You can upload the same thing for both of these. And again, done. Affidavit of accuracy and truthfulness. You just download this. You actually physically have to download it, print it out, physically print it out, sign it, date it, and re-upload it. You cannot electronically sign this thing. And they say this here, this is a big no-no. They want the quote unquote wet signature on that. Proof of ethnicity and gender, like that, they just want your birth certificate, passport, driver's license, something like that. They also want proof of citizenship, and in that case, you will either have to have your passport or your birth certificate for that. And then if you don't file individual, if you file corporate ones with your individual taxes, then you can just upload them there. You can upload the same ones. These are some things there, and they're not, of course, all of them, but that's just a place to start. So required is kind of optional. So, if you have an outside job, they just want you to write them a letter saying why this doesn't interfere with your business. And then if you don't, then it doesn't apply to you. So you just click lock in, click here, and then click lock in. There's some more here, but you can click lock in for all of them if they don't really apply to you. So documents you're definitely going to need. As I said, these 3 things already at the top, I talked about that. And then, of course, this does not apply to me. Just a piece of paper that says that. I've had people just write it on a piece of paper and take a picture of it with their phone and then upload it. They want your resume. They want 2 paragraphs about your business. They want your equipment list. And that could just be if you have a desk job like me, it could be oh, here's my business computer. I also have a desk or a chair that I got for the business, but you don't have to give them every single pencil or whatever. And then I don't have any licenses, so I don't have to upload that. And then bank authorization and signatory cards. So I uploaded the front and back of my business bank account card. And then, as we talked about already, passport and birth certificate. Is there anything else that you'd like to add here, Gloria? Things I forgot that you think I should have added here, or?
The one piece of paper that I feel like gets everybody. So when you first open up your business bank account 1 year ago, 10 years ago, there is a required one that you have to have proof of opening up that bank account with an initial deposit. Of course, you go to the bank, they give you the paper. Yeah, you think you're gonna keep it, and now you should tell everybody, scan it in and organize it so you can because you will need it. So I had to go back to my bank to ask, give me that document of the first time I opened with a deposit. And again, right, that takes 4 or 5 days, which is why this process can take so long, because you haven't at least got all those documents together. And that is going to take some time, but it's going to be worth it, especially when you do this certification in additional certifications. We just got our national LGBTQ certification, and that took time, but I had to provide those same documents. And so that's why, again, getting everything organized is good. And me and Mazarine both have Washington certifications. It's on the something minority, or it's something women in business. It's something they have. I can't think of the acronym in Washington, but we needed the same paperwork and documentation, and you're going to always need this same paperwork and documentation, especially, I don't know, one day if you ever decide to sell your business or, hand it off to a family member or something of that nature. Folks is going to need this information.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, you excel at helping people get organized, is just putting this all in one place, making it easy to access. And then every year when you just file your annual no change, it's right there if you need it. But even if you don't finish it all right away, after 3 months, if you don't touch it, they are going to delete it. You could also extend it a week at a time if necessary. But if you want to finish it sooner, Exabliss is really good at this. So, anything you want to add, Gloria?
No, I mean, once we help you plan and prepare, like, you'll be ready, like, to do it right. And think about it, those in the tech world, this is a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I did mine, it took 2 weeks. It was a sprint. I'm getting all the forms. I'm going to the bank today. I'm going to go get this. And I had some stuff, but nonetheless, right, I'm pulling this document. I use my business my business dashboard to pull a lot of this stuff. And it also allowed me to audit, right? This part of this, what I would say the good thing about COBID certifications, or just going through this process that Mazarine is explaining, it helps you as a business owner do your own internal audit of all of your documentation. Because if you hire me or Mazarine and say, I want you to do this, and now we asking you, well, where's this, where's that? That's a lot of stuff, like, right, to do. So you want to basically be able to audit these documents, right? Have them with the right naming conventions. And think about cybersecurity, right? And access and controls. You hire me as the finance person, I might need access to that document, right? That's in the accounting, right? Your bank records, right? But then technically, right, in HR, that's where your resume would sit, right? Or those other things, right? So you don't want one person having access to all of those files. So when you start to create your internal documentation file structure, you need to think about that, right? Is taxes under T? Is it under F for finances? Because you consider, oh, I'm put my taxes under finance, or is it under accounting, right? Because where do I look? So that's the mindset that when me and Mazarine, we work with you, we try to get you thinking in that way.
Mm-hmm. You do. And we had a great question from Val in the comments, and I wanted to make sure that we, connected about that too. Val said, how is this new administration affecting these certifications? And here in Oregon, we're staying the course. We're not taking away any of these certifications. Washington is not taking away any of these certifications. And keep in mind, this administration is not going to last forever. So even if it seems like a scary time to get involved with federal contracting, just do local. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? So you can always get federal contracts later. It's good to cut your teeth on the local side of contracting before you go for federal anyway, because when you get there, you have to be really organized, more so than local. And so once you've gotten your COBID certification, we've got a little high five here from Cynthia, and we love her so much. And then you can, get your DBE after you've got your COBID certification. Or if you're in Texas, let's say, get your local Texas certification and then get your DBE. You can, after that, create your capability statement. As Gloria said, love to do it with you and for you. And then you find government contracting events to go to. And if you stick around for another live stream, we're going to talk about which ones to go to in the Portland area specifically. And then you want to get more training and do this work well. There's lots of people who can offer you training out there. We're just a few of them, but we like to make it fun. A lot of these other trainings are kind of boring. So
very true. And one thing, right, about, how Mazarine said you could do one, right? This is what we recommend as Exabliss. You need to sit down and decide which ones you're going to go for. Say, and I'm not saying all states, right? Like, let's be real, you're not going to be registered in all states, but decide on which ones you want to go for. Because if you do that, then you're basically using that small amount of time to apply at the same time, versus you saying, oh, I'm only going to do DBE. You're going to have to go back all over again, start a new application, then to basically upload those documents all over again. And then now you have it staggered, right? Because I'm just saying, you do this in February, right? You waiting on your taxes because they want your taxes. Well, frankly, right, I'm not telling you when to do it, right, but if you did it in June, your taxes would have usually have already have been done. So that's one less piece of paper that you might have to rely on. I just wanted to call that out. Not telling you when to do it, but it's good. I did it. It's good to do them all at the same time. I did them all when I had my taxes, so I wasn't waiting on my taxes, because a lot of folks are waiting to do tax, and then what do you call it when they postpone it? Like put it off to October, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're still gonna be waiting on that, you're gonna be past your 90 days if you started in the spring.
That's right. Another question we had in the chat, are these focusing on Oregon with these sessions? I am in Ohio, and I'm just telling her, great question. We have pieces related to Oregon in each session, but we're not only about that. So just so you know. So if you are in Oregon, though, and some people here are, the CDEF program, if you are construction or construction adjacent business, get in there. It's so great. Gloria's already put the link in the chat for you. There's so much free support for you. But even if you're not in Oregon, as some people here are not, in these next sessions, we're going to talk with you about, if you've got a certification, what happens after that. Then networking to get government contracts. We're going to give you general networking tips, not just specific to Oregon tips. And then free resources that are available nationally as well as locally here. So it's definitely worth it your while to attend these other ones. And also, if you want to do business in Oregon, getting the COBID certification, you can still get it here. You don't have to be a local Oregon business to get it. Marketing your business to government, again, is going to be completely related to anyone who wants to do business with the government. And then we're going to have an AMA. So Gloria and I are going to be here on the 30th of September. We're going to say, ask me anything about government contracting. So I really hope that answers your question, Val, and I hope you found this useful today. And if not, well, trust me, the next ones are going to be even more useful to you, no matter where you are. And if you're like, okay, great, how do I get started with this certification in my state? If I'm in Texas, if I'm in Ohio, look at your local Apex accelerator to get your first certification. Apex is apexaccelerators.us, I believe. We talked about it in the last session.
And this is great. And Mazarine has, right, this is September to her point, right, especially, as we go through the fall, right, October, November, December, we'll basically be talking about, after this, right, we have the request for proposal process, right, like the now what? Mm-hmm. Yes, you can go to these places and get some technical assistance, but you're going to have to, you got it, to start applying for RFPs, request for proposals or request for quotes. That is a long, you think this process is tedious? It is a tedious process, right? Because why have it if you're not going to apply for those government RFPs? Mm-hmm. And so that's one thing that we both support and help excel at. And anyways, we try to make it as easy as possible. But yeah, that will be future sessions, regardless if you're in Ohio or Texas. That's going to be applicable no matter where you go.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And these are some of the many things that ExaBliss does aside from the Apex accelerators. Apex accelerators are great to help you get certification and help you get, started with contracting, but these are other things that ExaBliss does. And the computer training, the cybersecurity, the financial software training, the human resources management, all of this, and I'm just reading one side of the screen, that stuff that Apex accelerators don't do. And it's project planning and roadmaps, very, very helpful when you're getting government contracts. Anything else you'd like to add, Gloria?
I think that the biggest thing, right, for a lot of us, right, is that delegation, right, and that transition management. Like, even when you get to the RFP process, right, you don't want to keep doing this. If it's what Mazarine would say, if it's not bringing you joy, then you probably should hand it off to somebody else who is specialized or who loves doing that. And so I think that's a big thing about that transition management. And as you transition in your business and, move up and build your team, start thinking about what are the things I really don't like to do. I don't want to do this certification piece. then I'm hiring somebody, right, to do it or whatever the case may be. But you should really start thinking about that. Otherwise, no matter what certification you have, no matter what, RFP you go for, you won't have that joy in your business.
Yeah, you're right. And, Gloria and I are not in Washington State, we're in Oregon, but we have Washington State certifications as well. And Gloria and I both have federal certifications too. So Tabor 100, if you did register as a business in Washington State, they can give you a free laptop. They can give you free Microsoft 365. They can give you free QuickBooks for a year. So there are so many benefits to registering as a business in other states that are just real tangible benefits for you. So that's something to consider as well when you think about registering in a state that you're not in. We've both gotten a lot out of the Tabor 100 program, and we both had mentors from there too, and we loved them. And now Gloria is a trainer and a coach with them too.
Yeah. So, and we're getting more, we get, fingers crossed, but getting more clients up there. And I think the thing about Tabor, right? So as you look at these, the Tabor that accelerates,